Welcome back to North American Challenger Series. It's time for the third place match between Curse Academy and VVV Gaming. Game number 2 is coming up. Now with one more win, Curse Academy will lock down the 4th seed in next week's Challenger Series playoffs.
The beginning of Game 1 was all about the junglers. Curse Academy's Pat and VVV's GetSnuggled pick up the first 6 kills of the game. And after that, the team settled in for a long, evenly matched battle. But in the end, it was Curse Academy who wore down VVV thanks to Pat and their AD carry Mashme, who went 8, 3, and 7.
Yeah, I mean, and again, sort of the AD carries of this match went consistent. Of course, Tails on the losing team had a positive score as well, picked up a number of kills, was, I guess, shut down at the very end. He had a killing spree going on there. Yeah. So Caitlyn, Lucian, the two of them, still putting out some good performances. I got to say, Pat really impressed me on Lee Sin that game. I thought he had an incredible showing overall. And even though Rhux's score didn't look it, I thought his rise is also pretty key to making a win.
Yeah, his teleports and his plays and his map presence, especially that early mid game, knew how to handle that situation. Because sometimes on Rise you'll get put behind, and then you're like, I don't know how to lane anymore. I need to stay in my lane and just try to scale up. He was teleporting everywhere and being very relevant in dragon fights and down bottom when they like 4v2'd VVV's bot lane. Yeah,
but only got one kill because of like an amazing like lantern. And it's always fun to me to kind of look at that because whenever someone teleports out of lane, you expect them to, you know, get behind in the lane but pay for it by getting an assist or something, getting the rest of the team ahead. Rhux left his lane so many times and still had a CS lead top lane. Like this is after like teleport like 3. Left his lane 3 different times, still got a lead out of it. Like that's to me incredibly impressive. I mean, keep in mind at the start of this game, you had like the 3-on-1 lanes. And Rhux like was stuck at level 1 for a while.
Yeah.
Whereas like Cris was already level 2, was actually able to leech experience even further down the line. Like to come back from that and then leave your lane more and then still make plays is very impressive.
Yeah, and Cris ended up building the Hex Drinker to try and deal with Rhux. And Renekton's typically have great wave clear, great CS in the early game, but they'll typically rush something like a Hydra and Tiamat so that they insta-clear it and keep the pressure up. But he didn't do that. He opted for the magic resistance instead because he was put behind because of the 3-on-1.
Yeah, and that was kind of interesting as well, is that there was a complete lack of AoE damage from Cris. I know I mentioned like, oh, his Sunfire is going to come later, but his only offensive item was a late Maul from Mortius. And to me, like, that's a bit risky as a Renekton. I know in talking to some of the pros about Renekton plays, like you need at least one big offensive item. For a while, it actually used to be Brutalizer. Like way back in like the middle of Season 3, Sunfire Cape ended up being one of the big ones. But also, as you talked about, right, Tiamat tends to be a really big one. Tiamat is going to give you more damage than Ma typically will.
Yes.
Because there's no tank stance on it, but like it's going to give you more damage there. And so I always felt like the damage output from Cris was low. He was 4, 1, and 7, but like, why would you even focus him anyway?
Yeah, and the Tiamat helps you in the team fights. Also, you can animation cancel your W with it. So you're just able to use your abilities immediately after Ruthless Predator. Just lock somebody up and still auto-attack them. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the thing with Ma, though, is like you get more damage the lower you are. And Renekton, you know, once he gets lower, his passive is that he gets more Fury when he's below 50%.
Yeah.
So, but he wasn't really in that low area. We saw his score. He was doing very well. At one point, he was 4-1 and I think 7.
Yeah. So kind of pulled out of my hat, but I think that's the number I remember seeing.
Your hat.
Yeah. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Here we go into the game, though. Curse Academy, will they repeat the bans? So far, so good. 1 for 1. Pantheon still banned away from Pat. Nidalee still banned away from Pekin, Woof. Now, of course, Curse Academy has the chance to first pick Lulu if they want, one of the big contested champions there, or Kha'Zix if they think GetSnuggled was too effective on it. I want to see if any of their strategies change. The Gragas does come through, so there you go. There's a Lulu ban.
So they banned out the Gragas here, which I actually want to focus on because I talked about Pekin Woof could have played Gragas last game. It was open, it was available to him. It would have been great for his playstyle because he loves poking champions. He loves wave clear champions. LeBlanc does neither of those very well.
Yeah.
She's basically all in, burst you, and I don't want to say it's a higher mechanics, but it's higher cost-benefit analysis and risk orientation. Nidalee, you're in the back line, you're chucking javelins, you're like, all right, did it hit? Okay, good. If it didn't hit, all right, let's throw another. LeBlanc is like, I jump in, got to hit all my keys very quickly and in a perfect sequence, and then get out. And did they die? No. Then you're like, I got to wait like 40 seconds before I can do that again.
Yeah, sure. So. Well, but Curse Academy running something a bit different anyway. They're looking at maybe the first pick Ziggs, because, I mean, again, we said we weren't very impressed by the LeBlanc, but they're going to ban it out here, leaving Ziggs on the table. VVV take a long time to make their last ban. It's Annie away from Kabigon. So now is it Kha'Zix? Is it Ziggs? What is it for Curse Academy?
I would assume it's a Ziggs. They didn't ban it. And Duocek, like I said, great games on Ziggs, but so has Pekin Woof. So yeah, obviously they're going to take that one away for themselves. Now Pekin Woof, what is he left on again? Now he doesn't even have the LeBlanc at his disposal. So he's looking at something like... Okay, I don't even know what he's looking at right now.
Because he's played yet.
Because he plays Nidalee, LeBlanc, Ziggs, Gragas. They're all gone.
Whoops.
He also plays Kassadin, but this is 4.4 with Kassadin disabled.
Disabled, yeah.
So I don't know what he has left in his champion pool. He's going to pull something out that...
My blind guess is Kayle.
It's possible that it could be a Kayle up against the Ziggs. Kayle typically doesn't do very well in that matchup.
No. I don't think it's for the matchup. I just think of champions I feel like he would play.
But I like that they target a single person out with their
Yeah.
bans, which is something you should do in competitive play. Just be
I
like,
think so.
I don't like that person's champion pool. Get rid of it. What do they do now? Especially if they're a linchpin to the strategy of the team. See if they can do something else. Because VVV is typically a poke composition, and the Orianna would actually be pretty dang
That was my second guess.
It'd be pretty dang good.
So Thresh does come through here for Normalize. Had a great early performance on that champion. Started getting caught out late. He's going to be back on Thresh here. Pekin Woof will play some Orianna. See how well he plays the more supportive mid lane role here for his team. Actually, to be fair, Orianna's got great wave clear and long range. I'm sad I didn't think of it before.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is he hasn't played that very much in solo queue at all.
Sure.
It's like his 7th, 8th most played. It's down there. But at the same time, he's not going to be able to have one of those champions that pokes and wave clears, or just pokes, which is basically what he's the best at.
Yeah.
But now he's on a wave clear champion. He says, all right, we at least need some ranged wave clear, which is not the LeBlanc, which is like melee range lane clear.
Melee wave clear. Great.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll see what happens here. Shyvana does come through. That was banned last time against him. So Rhux said, you know, I could play Rise again, but I want to play Shyvana, which prompts Cris to pick up Riven for the top lane counter pick. I want to see how that plays out with a Vi jungle. So Kha'Zix gets through unpicked.
So Riven is Chris's most played champion. He's very well known on that. He's played a lot back when he was in Velocity.
Yeah.
Which is his go-to top laner. And now that the Bruiser meta's come in, he's looking for something that'll just stomp the lane. And Shyvana's early game isn't that great. She wave clears pretty well.
Yeah.
But Riven, levels 1 through 3, and then once again when you hit 6, and then basically all of late game, if she went even or got a little edge, is devastating.
Yeah.
Especially against Squishy. So if she could make contact with Duocek on that Ziggs, she's going to go down.
See what they can find with it, honestly. It's going to be fun to watch. You can outplay the skill shots or what you can find with this one. Lucian, the cover for Mash, sure, why not? Worked for him last time. Picks it up again. Kabigon, I want to know if he actually goes for this. There's a lot of aggression on the VVV lineup. I mean, you got Vi, whose name just synergizes so well with the tag, as well as Riven, who's going to be able to play aggressively. And the Janna does come through here. So very defensive support. Honestly, a lot of backline power for Curse Academy.
So I like that support choice right now, especially since there's a Riven on the field. And I said if Riven gets close to Ziggs, you're just going to blow him up. So what you will do is you'll shield the Ziggs, you'll get rid of the Riven as much as you can. You can also interrupt him with your Q. Just make it so that he's in a very bad situation. Then if he tries to retreat, Zephyr him, slow him, your team's all over it. That's fine. So I like that pickup. It's also going to help mash me in the lane. And this is something that we saw somebody in Europe do, who's Masterwork.
Yeah.
Played Janna. He loves that Janna Lulu support. And then that was also onto Rhux as the AD carry. But now Mash Me, he's not going to have a very offensive support, but I think he can handle this. Considering his playstyle where he likes to just destroy people in lane, he's very mechanically sound. The fact that he can have extra AD and a shields for trading, I like that. And I would love to see the Tristana or something like Vayne for Tails, because he's known for his hyper carry. And if he has the Tristana in the late game, is amazing for him.
I like this. I like Tristana. So there's interesting things about Tristana here. So one is explosive shots going to suck in lane because it's very easy to shield. As Janna, the cooldown's better. The damage isn't going to really break through at any given time. Kabigon's going to be able to easily get rid of all the offensive capabilities of Tristana. That said, Janna is such a kind of unaggressive laner that it allows Trist to lane. So it'll allow Tails to actually get his farm going. And he'll never really be threatened by the dive of Curse Academy. So it definitely shores up VVV's late game problems they had last time around. I think the lane basically works. VVV's looking to go even there, and that's fine. and I think it works strategically for the team.
You know, I do like the pick. I like Tails on those hyper carries. The fact that he picked it into a favorable matchup, not something that he's going to get punished for, or if it's an Annie and he gets stunned and then picked up. So I like that. And they also picked Thresh for themselves. So they know that that wasn't going to come out. And Thresh is pretty much the biggest counter to Tristana in terms of supports in lane.
Yeah.
So Tails is going to have a good time on that. I don't know if they'll lane swap it. Most likely not.
They won't need to. I mean, Trist will be okay. Like, she's actually a pretty good lane swap champion. This is 4.4, meaning Rapid Fire has no mana cost. Not that important to Tristana anyway. Her mana wasn't really constrained early game regardless. But it does mean that every time you go push a turret, if you do go 2-on-1, you will have a 30 to 90% attack speed buff just like waiting for you to use, which honestly doesn't suck. It's pretty strong. It's going to be pretty useful. You have really fast wave clear because explosive shot. Why not? It's not Jinx tier, but he's going to be safer and have pretty high damage output late game anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I was actually a little surprised we haven't seen any Kog'Maw for the most part with the buffs to him, because I think he's outstanding. But the Tristana, little buff, no mana cost. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Honestly, the free W on Kog'Maw is actually way stronger than you expect. It's such a big boost to his laning. Because I wanted to do the math actually to find out the numbers, but it almost gives you the same damage that like a Spinning Axe would in the very early game. Like pre-BF Sword, Spinning Axe is only so much damage, and like I'll bet you it compares pretty favorably against like Bioarcane Barrage. I don't know for sure, but I want to look at it and figure it out.
Because it's percent HP.
Yeah.
It's magic, so.
So it's like, 3% of 600 health is not bad.
Also, you get the range too later on.
It's it's enough to outtrade pretty much anyone. You're going to have 600 plus range. I think it's better than people expect. So coming into this match, though, of course, Tristana will, speaking of range, of course, will gain range over the course of time, over the levels. We'll be able to outrange the Shyvana and, of course, knock her back. Throughout the LCS, we've seen so many Lee Sins knock back a Shyvana. Now Trist can do it, too.
Kick him in the face.
It's going to be like bullet them in the face. Ooh. Cannon shot in the face, Buster shot. Buster shot's the one.
Yeah.
It's going to be painful. I like that Pat is back on Lee Sin. And that's really good when he had a great set of plays earlier on here. I'm a little bit surprised Chris Cuddy didn't just go for Rise again anyway, just because I feel like it works so well with Rhux. They're just like, yeah, let's just go a different direction with it.
Yeah, they opt for something else here. And they wanted that frontliner. They wanted to be able to have somebody who can just go straight at the team. And the fact that they also have the wave clear from Ziggs, it's not a huge synergy with Rise. Because now they're going to try to clear waves, try to poke down, and then engage with the Lee Sin and the Shyvana.
Yeah.
And then disengage with the Janna if they get engaged on by GetSnuggled. Which is pretty big, too, because like if GetSnuggled uses his ultimate, and everybody else tries to follow up, you can go ahead and just use your Monsoon and separate everybody from GetSnuggled.
Yeah. I remember like way back in the day, this won't quite apply, but I want to bring it up anyway. Back in the day, around middle of Season 2 era, Janna was considered the big counterpick to Leona, and part of the reason that Leona wasn't very popular. And I remember it was played like Xpecial or something, said that, maybe it was like Muffin Cutie, but he said, basically Janna into Leona is a ticking time bomb until you lose. Because she'll ditch all of your engages, she can Q the E, she can Monsoon after you engage, and it's going to be a horrible experience for you. Now that, of course, isn't the case here in the LCS, no one's picking Janna as the counterpick. But you have a similar situation to Vi, where she can go in, and again, as you're saying, you knock the team back, it sets you up. What I've been thinking about with this comp, though, is you have a Shyvana and a Lee Sin who need to go in to do anything, but a very defensive support in Janna, which to me is not really a synergy. So when thinking about how this works, I'm like, Rhux by himself, the rest of Curse Academy as a group of 4 pushing early, because with Ziggs and with Lucian and with Janna, you have incredibly good early sieging. And I feel like that's the thing we're going to see from Curse Academy that their comp is trying to acquire.
And you can tell the VVV, they don't look extremely scared of the composition of Curse Academy. Like, just for example, Pekin Wolf brought Ignite instead of Barrier, which is a spell we see a lot of Orianna's break. I've seen Cleanse on Orianna, too, when there's some type of CC. But opting for the Ignite, he's not usually going to be in range to use that unless there's somebody on top of him. So he's not scared. He's looking to get kills instead of prevent them.
She'll be able to do just that. Hook does not quite land. Mastery ducks in behind the minions to keep himself alive. There's the Janna shield. Blocks the Thresh damage. He's safe. Tails actually, I'm surprised, but taking a lot of poke right now. And Kabigon did open Doran's ring. He did it last time on Annie as well. So 2x Doran's ring start here for the support. And using the AP for some really big shields.
That's good. It's going to help mash me out. It's going to be able to give him some AP too. I think it scales.
The damage scales
the
with
AD
AP.
scales with AP. Yes. So he's gonna be able to hand him a little bit extra, allow those trades to be just a bit better, and it's paying off already. Early level 2.
Yeah, I mean, hit the tornado on him, knocked them both up. Good damage to Normalize and Tails. Tails already no potions. Match me low on mana, to be fair, but they're still in a good spot.
And it's Tristana up against a lane bully Lucian. This is typically
Yeah.
how the matchup will go, regardless of the support for the most part.
Yeah, I'm impressed by how much the Janna is actually helping affect this match, though.
It's affecting enough that GetSnuggled is going to bring attention here.
He's going to walk through a ward spotted right now. Can the team back off in time? Of course, you can stuff the Vault Breaker with Q, so there is something there that Kabigon can go for.
Just backs off immediately, doesn't even go for it. Just a slight movement change there from Mash, and Kabigon tipped him off.
And I'm trying to figure out if that's actually, I think it's just a trinket ward in that bottom brush. Because I know we see some supports start out with 1 potion, 1 ward.
Didn't.
Yeah. So just the potion start. Thorns Ring, all that fun stuff. I do want to see if his build is like what Kiwi Kid went for earlier today with Dignitas. Which was the high damage, like full AP karma.
Well, he did that for a very good reason.
Yeah.
His team was mostly physical damage, so you looked at the top lane.
Yeah, Shyvana is magic damage, but like kind of a lowish damage champion. Oh, Tails knocked into the air. Some good damage comes out from Mashmi.
Yeah. And just going back to that point, he built it because, oh wow, just never
Hold
mind.
on. Chris flashes, safe, but the gank from Pat does force a flash. GetSnuggled shows up late to the party.
GetSnuggled's actually off on the side. They have no idea that he's there. Coming around the corner. Chris is still being very aggressive. He's baiting him in.
Baiting in for GetSnuggled. There comes the jump in. Does find Rhux in this one. Half HP, but GetSnuggled.
Oh,
still the
is
front
caught.
lines. Uh-oh, Q comes in. Pat finds the kill. And now they look for Chris. Jumps to a ward to get away from this 100 health left on him. Flashes away. Chris does land the knockup, but the Q comes in. Double kill for Pat. Great start, Curse Academy.
And this is just like last game where they were getting the kills early, and it was all about Pat from start to finish here. And now Rhux, he's past that point with Shyvana. Just those 2 assists is going to help him out. He was hiding by his turret for so long, and now they're able to just push up and get the CS. So GetSnuggled only hits Rhux here, and then Chris abandons him. And he takes so much damage. Level 4 for Pat, really paying off, doing that little bit of extra. Going in, safeguards to the ward, gets out of there with a flash. Chris already blew his previously, and then has the cooldown on the resonating strike.
Yeah. Pat dodged the W and the first 2 Qs. It took basically no damage in the last half of that fight. Really, really well played. So it finishes the point that we were going to make about Kiwi Kid and Karma.
Boom.
I actually looked at the post-game stats. Second highest damage dealt the champions in the team.
Yeah.
Did more than Gold and Blue.
They had
more than
that was their source of poke.
Yeah.
Though. You would see him throw out his Soul Flame, and then he would just do so much damage to the AD carry if it landed. And the fact that they were building all armor keyed him off that was going to be the build to go for. I loved it. I was watching it and I was like, first item I saw come out, I was like, okay. And then I just noticed that the top laner of the enemy team just kept building armor, and I was like, wow, this is going to chunk people.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to do that with Janna, though.
Unlikely. We'll see. Picks up the Ancient Coin for some gold generation. Speaking of people getting chunked, Mashmi gets back for an early Sheen with this build. He's already been winning the lane, 43 to 32 in minions. But Tails and Normalize shove the lane. They're going to back as well. See what else these guys can pick up. A little bit late from Pat. Going to see GetSnuggled, but both are level 5. Pat close to 6. See if you can find anything.
Basically having that whole Meteos thing. If you don't know what to do with your time, go find the enemy jungler, keep tabs on him, go duel him if you know you're stronger.
Yep. Pat jumps into a ward, gets some damage on a Pekin. Is it level 6 Orianna? He's got to be careful.
Not level 6 on the Lee Sin just yet.
Yeah. Without Flash, Pekin Whip could have shockwaved him in a turret. Pat wouldn't have died, but it would have been some damage.
And now at the same time, GetSnuggled, clearing out his jungle, trying to get to level 6 so he can assist something. And now the 6s are coming out for the junglers. Pat has his Dragon's Rage. The ward is already set up for him, so if he makes a repeat visit mid, and Pekin Whip is pushed a little too far up, he could possibly get him, but he has Flash in the back pocket.
Yeah, he does. Gonna be pretty reasonable. Rhux level 6 has Dragon form. Duocek gonna grab blue buff for himself in the mid lane. Happy little Ziggs, has a lot of mana. Gonna be alright with that one. Blue's gonna spawn soon-ish for VVV. GetSnuggled did start on the top side of the jungle, so after red, make his way down there. 31 minions now for both junglers. Happy place for these guys, but boots and an extra long sword for Pat thanks to his kills. Definitely an early lead for him.
So this is a very different game than we've seen from Curse Academy in the past and what we saw last game with the lane swaps and the fact that their first 6 minutes are very, very good. We saw the rotation from Pat up top for the double kill. It was fantastic. Yeah. But now it's always this age-old test here. Can Curse Academy hold out in the mid game? And I think with this composition, which once again scales really, really well with Shyvana and Ziggs. Lucian, on the other hand, not so much, but if Pat, the situation he's in right now. Oh!
A little bit early there, Pekin Woof. Kind of brutal last hit it.
It was a guess.
He thanks the team for the help.
It was a complete guess there from Duocek. He didn't have vision of it. We were just throwing it out.
Okay.
Curse Academy are in a great
Gets a timer for it, basically.
Yes.
It does reveal when it starts coming down, so you'll be like, okay, it's around 13:25-ish, something like that. We'll be able to tell his team. So we'll see if Curse Academy can actually invade for that if they get enough of a lead in the mid and bottom lane in 4.5 minutes.
Got to see now Tails. He's getting to that point where he is outranging Matchmade by a decent amount. I realized was going to help him out just a little bit more. The fact that nothing has really happened in that bottom lane is a little surprising. But here comes Pat. He already completed his Elder Lizard, 9 minutes in. Oh, he gets the shield too for the extra AD. So he's going to be fine. Not? He's fine.
That's one thing I really like about champions. Champions like Lucian and Janna, actually, is you have these kind of ways to make plays. Like, Kabigon didn't really betray the fact that they were going for it. He's like, he walked out of lane for a second.
Looked like he was warding. Yeah,
right? Like, no big deal. But yet gets to affect the fight from behind the wall. Of course, Lucian similarly can just jump over the wall himself to make that happen. So, I'm a fan of that play from Curse Academy. It did work out. It's a 2,000 gold lead. And Mashme and Kabigon able to actually freeze this lane.
Here comes GetSnuggled down to the bottom lane. He does have his Assault and Battery ready. There are no wards here. So he's just going to go ahead and walk himself right up. And we'll see if Normalize can land a hook. The thing is, Kabigon has Exhaust and Monsoon. Yeah. So he just abandons the whole idea of that. GetSnuggled says, nope, not for me.
No,
backs off. It's a good choice.
At all. Yeah. Look for it, didn't find an opening, no gank came through, no big deal overall. Only a little bit of time lost. Rhux, though, playing so aggressively in his lane, has started to take away double golems in between his wave clears, and Pat will now show up. He's going to walk right into Cris. There's the slow coming in. Can the damage come through? Lands a Q.
Here comes Rhux
chase coming in. Ulti popped on both sides. Cris jumps in, misses the stun, but here comes Rhux in from the side. Pat's got to be careful. Takes some good damage, flashes out, barely survives. He's going to chill. Spam a little bit of laugh. Oh, Twin Bite's going to take him down. Rhux picks up the kill, 3-0. All of it in the top lane.
So the flash and the key strike missed.
Yeah.
From Cris, which was the crucial part of that. Hook onto Kabigon.
Gonna be a bit of damage, but the double tornado shot's gonna land. I like the foresight. They'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna aim my knock up to make sure I hit both. It's a good play by this Janna.
It's very good. Now GetSnuggled. Ping that out because actually it looked like Ziggs was gonna go for it for a second.
He's like, he mindfielded this.
It's very calm game for the most part. All the action's been happening in the top lane. They've been picking on Cris very effectively, trying to keep his Riven down. If you keep a Riven down, she's just going to be able to deal with squishies in the late game and just get over-tanked, out-tanked.
Yeah.
And just run up to her and it'll be like, oh, Shyvana's doing so much damage to me and I don't do enough to her.
Well, exactly. And think about what just happened right now. Rhux could have chosen to push the top lane turret down and killed it off that gank. Instead, took the time to back and grab Sunfire Cape plus a cloth armor. So Rhux is basically guaranteed to thrive in this matchup right now. And it's going to be rough for Cris to stay in this matchup. He's down 20 CS right now. It might get worse soon.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, let's take the turret and just perpetuate this to the late game. And Rhux is like, no, we actually want to stay in the laning phase because we have better lanes.
Yeah.
And he's
the right choice.
Doing a great job there. They've shut him down by about 20 CS now. And now Duocek looking to the bottom lane. He does find that pink ward. Gets snuggled off on the side. Pings all around these areas.
Well, yeah, of course, the ward that Duocek just put down did get spotted. Snuggle puts a ward down. Duocek knows. There's the flash. Ult comes in. Shockwave as well. Good damage. Flashes from Duocek. Minefield comes down, but no satchel charge available. Ignite helps, and the kill goes to Pekin Woof.
Oh, GetSnuggled caught out here.
Pat's going to try, but the shield's going to be enough. Can he get a Q? Pekin Woof trying to block it. Winds up. He's all right.
All right. I liked that they took advantage of the fact that his satchel charge was down because he used it on the pink ward to just get himself a little distance.
Yeah.
And that was GetSnuggled just saying, all right, it's time to go. And oh, GetSnuggled. Don't want to snuggle the dragon.
Ignites on. There's a... yeah, the flash makes it happen, and in comes Pat as well. The slows land.
Rhux is so tanky,
dodges the Q with it. They're still chasing down. He wants to take out the turret to get something going on. In comes the haste, the slow. Pat is trying the kick. Oh, it's gonna be enough. Wow. I don't know if the Q landed or if it was just the red buff or the Lizard Elder ticking. But Cris on the chase. Q. Oh. Rhux just warded for him. I'm pretty sure Rhux warded for Pat to jump away.
Cris?
What a play.
Cris was off on the side trying to use his abilities.
Yeah.
I think his Broken Wings and his Valor were all kind of stunted there by walls and corners.
Yep.
And it was just those crucial inches that made it for Pat there.
The case. Ziggs ult comes down. Not a good place for Tails. Ooh, some damage. Normalize also in a bad spot. Hook comes out. Grabs a minion. That bottom lane's got to leave.
All around the map now, they're transitioning that lane advantage that Rhux had into that jungle area. You saw him picking on GetSnuggled even more. Has not been having a good game. And then Rhux just says, we're going to go mid. Tanks it out and saves Pat there really hard.
It's going to be the bottom lane turret now getting hit as well. So Curse Academy really picking up a lot off their early victories. Going to bring the lead to 5,000 now. Only 14 minutes in. Say that is a sizable lead right now for these guys. 2-0 in turrets, 5-1 in kills. Well in control right now. Move up to Pekin Woof, who's still actually behind in lane. I gotta say, Duocek twice in a row now. Minion lead in his mid lane. Did give away a kill, but that was GetSnuggled getting a gank. Duocek, even despite dying there, actually having a good time in the lane phase, I gotta say.
Yeah, and now Rhux, with that top turret down, he's able to keep Cris at his own turret. He's able to get control of this jungle and just free up more for Curse Academy. And like you said, Pat now has more roaming potential. He can come mid and pick on that mid lane, get Duocek further ahead, pick on Pekin Woof a little bit, and there. That's that ward that got him last time.
And Snuggled realizes that friends got brought and a ward came down. He's not going to look for the engage right now. Ulti is back up for GetSnuggled by. Rhux still pushing the top lane. The turret did finally go down. Now I want to see what Rhux does off of this early lead. What can he do against Cris with a tank lead, with an item lead, or is he going to go with his pressure?
Well, yeah, he has to go somewhere, and the top lane right now, he can duel Cris. Super tanky. Cris, his build right now is 3 Doran's Blades and a Vamp Scepter.
You got it.
He basically tickles.
Big Golem went to Cris, though. Laughs on his way out, takes some damage, doesn't care. I gotta say, if you're in the losing matchup and you steal away something like that, it just feels so good.
Oh, going for it.
The Duocek Shockwave's gonna go the wrong way, but brings him away from the satchel charge. Used plus the barrier. Duocek not gonna survive anyway. GetSnuggled takes the kill. Well done right here. These mid lane ganks are working. But Curse Academy used their junglers to get the dragon picked up. Mashby jumps in on Pekin Woof, some good damage.
He's got the culling.
The ulti, good damage. It picks up Pekin Woof. Kabigon helps as well with the Janna shield. Great stuff.
GetSnuggled decides to back instead of possibly blocking some shots for him. Don't know if it would have helped. Probably would have sacrificed his own life there. Man, I liked the culling, the positioning of that, and Pekin Woof had nowhere to run.
Yep.
Basically, it was caught between a wall and a culling and ate both of them.
Yummy wall. Less yummy culling. Hugging trees did not quite work there for Pekin Woof. Mid turret goes down, making it all 3 outer turrets for these guys. Rhux did roam down to the mid lane. It's going to be ward coverage now starting of the upper jungle. Be 1 ward right here for Lucian, who did go early Sightstone. I believe Pat did that last time as well. Could be wrong. But I know it's been very common for jungle Lucians to get the Sightstone out. And just get more ward coverage. Kabigon not too afraid of Cris, actually.
He can duel Cris! That's how far ahead this John is. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's a good sentiment, right? You're not wrong. Cris did run away from that one, but that was more the threat of other teammates.
Yeah.
I know you were joking. I just felt like, you know, correcting you for no reason. Because that's just how I cast.
Well, nothing's really happened in the bottom lane, though. There's been that kill from Nashmi with the system Kabigon when they roamed middle, but Tails has pretty much been far removed from this game, saying, I'm going to farm up, get to that Tristana late game.
Yeah.
And if VVV can hold out to that point, I still don't know if it's going to help them as much as they need it to. Because Cris is behind, GetSnuggled is behind, Pekin Woof is behind. That lane in the bottom lane is still actually behind in CS.
Look how close he was. He I think they knew the ward was there, and he's like, I misclicked it. Can you just sweep over here, please?
Please. Thank you.
I look stupid, but please kill the ward. But I gotta point out though, you talked about Tails. I do want to actually bring this up.
Yeah.
It might be too little, too late, but despite the turret going down, unkilled, only a 15 minion deficit, highest CS on his team. He was behind early, was getting bullied early, but he's now into farm mode. Ooh, good juke. I want to see now how Tails goes for the rest of the game. Double Doran's, Bloodthirster. No AD ratios to speak of, aside from his auto attack, but see what Tails does.
Yeah, that's really going to be the key to victory here for VVV is the shockwaves from Pekin Woof, if they can be on point. And Mash, oh, they engage this. Oh.
Gonna get the ulti onto Duocek. The shockwave again, just over and over the combo, but Duocek with a good satchel charge, keeping himself in a decent spot. Ulti comes in, Pekin Woof flashes, picks up the kill on a Duocek.
Mashme's by himself
3 times in a row. Mashme's gonna be a little bit careful in this one. Actually, nope. Happy to fight, get snuggled. Push for the damage, but there comes Tails. The burst comes out. VVV. Man. Wow, but Cris goes down to the top side though. Pat helped to make it work with Rhux. Sorry, missed that one a little bit.
Everybody was up in the top lane trying to get Cris and Normalize. And then it was a 3-on-2. They get 2 for 1 in the overall, and a little bit in favor of VVV on that. Normalize.
Ooh. A little. He's okay. It's just Janna.
A little far forward.
He's all right. He's all right. He's all right.
Rhux is getting damage to that top turret, and that red buff is now within their grasp, so Pat might take that away. We'll look at it again. What happened up in that top lane? You see Rhux going after Normalize. The flash over the wall, and they end up getting Cris at the end of this, just with a kick backwards. That's why he got reset. And now we see the Q with the Resonating Strike to finish it off. Those 2 fights simultaneously. Yeah. You know the voice comms are probably going crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you gotta like coordinate. Like, kick him. Wait, who's kicking what?
Yeah,
I don't understand. Yeah, but of course they made it work. Very well executed fights on all sides right here. And I gotta say, VVV, their one shining hope is that get snuggled Pekin Woof duo combo. Every time Snuggled has ulti, he just shows up and ults Duocek. Every single time, over and over and over again. This poor Ziggs is 0-3 and 0, still killing minions really well, to be completely fair with this one, but getting super picked on. Pekin Woof with a good amount of gold because of these kills.
Yeah, and you were saying the assault and battery into the shockwave is how they've been picking him up. They got Duocek's flash last time, and they always separated from the satchel charge, just pretty much by pure luck, too, because the shockwave angle is really
well, it's always going to be the same angle. Because Via's always showing up behind the target,
behind him,
so they're always shockwaving him towards his own base.
So they'll suck him away.
Yeah. So now what
Duocek's doing?
Yeah.
He's got to put a satchel charge in a different place.
He's just waiting.
Yeah.
Like the last time this happened, he just waited to get shockwave, and he's like, okay, I'll satchel charge out. But there's too much damage at that point. The Q got recharged by GetSnuggled.
Oh, using assault battery. He still has Vault Breaker, so he can knock back.
Jumps in, a lot of damage to Mashme. He's going to go towards the top side. Barrier comes out, Janna shows up, Q comes in there as well.
Oh, he flashes it.
Ooh, he's going to try the Janna ulti as well from Kabigon.
Oh.
Not where you want to be. Pekin Woof picks up the kill. Nicely done.
His Tails ended up flashing the Howling Gale there, so he didn't get knocked up, losing any distance, but at the same time, his team's coming to back it up. Cris versus Pat in the mid lane.
The Pat's honestly really big right now. Lizard Elder plus Brutalizer.
Yeah, didn't seem to go Brutalizer last time.
Yeah, he cashed in on the fact that he's got a lot of kills this time. Normalize low on health. Pat not... Ooh!
Oh, no, you killed it! Get snuggled!
Oh, man. That is unfortunate. Counter jungled by your own team. Kind of.
That's one of those things where you repel as Elise and you're like, I'll go to the raid. Oh, the raids aren't there.
It's okay. Nice.
It would have been a sick play.
Oh my gosh, it was close. Curse Academy, though, in a good spot right now. Gonna put some damage into Cris. The mid lane under siege right here. Half HP in the turret. It's gonna be going down. Mashme sent to the bottom lane to fight up against Tails, who did equalize the turret score down there on the bottom side. So you've got 2 assists versus 1 kill. Same CS, same turret score for both of these AD carries. I gotta say, Tails escaped the early game at this point.
Yep. He's trying to scale up, but the problem is Curse Academy, they have 2 really good scalers versus very behind Riven 0-3-0. The Orianna, the Vi, and Tristana are the key to victory right now. And Cris, I don't know if he might have to put his farming pants on. But at the same time, he'll have to deal with Rhux, who can definitely outduel him even without an offensive item.
Yeah, true.
Very difficult situation for VVV.
It really is. VVV's got to be a bit afraid of this one. They are down 8,500 gold. They just have not been able to control global objectives. They've found kills off and on in various locations. They're trying to control Baron now. They know it's in the table. But honestly, VVV just unable to capitalize every single lane with the push deficit. Curse Academy, like, this is the kind of game, this is like the kind of game of why you push. It's like, yes, they've been picking up kills because of the pushing. Yes, we're only 3 kills apart. But because CA is pushing, VVV has nowhere to go. They have no turrets to kill. They don't even have like control over Dragon or anything. It's the reason Curse Academy is winning.
Yeah, it's an 8K gold lead for them. And all these turrets, all this gold, 5-1. And you can see the pressure that's been put on their jungle, that's been put on their entire team. And now they have to group up and risk not getting picked to prevent themselves from getting picked off if they spread out, because everybody's just so much more powerful than they are on Curse Academy. Now when VVV all group up though, they're at a disadvantage in the team fights too. They have to rely on the Wombo combo and hope it all hits, and hope they blow up just the squishy members first, and then can pick off Rhux last, and Pat on the trail off.
We'll see what they can find. Ward swept away.
Kabigon! Oh, Captain, my Captain boots!
Nice. Kabigon really going. I mean, I like this because the Janna passive is already 5% move speed, just to anyone who's around.
Yeah.
If they're facing her, it's another, I believe, 8%. And it's like 10 or 15 or something on minions. Like, dude's going to run fast around Kabigon. Like, they're going to be able to like run around and make some decent plays here.
It's when you run towards the person. So when you're retreating and Kabigon's in the back, still helps.
Yep, exactly. There's the Ascension used up, gets snuggled up into the front line, doesn't quite land it onto Rhux, but there's the ulti coming in. Shockwave onto 2, and down goes 2 of them. Cris with a great ultimate. Now Rhux in the front line's not necessarily wants to be anymore, gets away with a flash. 2 for 0 though, VVV, great Shockwave and a Wind Slash.
There's a good Wombo combo. We saw GetSnuggled peel for his backline of Pekin Woof, so he's very calm and said, all right, now I'm going to throw the ball there. Almost looked like he had 3 there, but he got 2 priority targets. Basically blew up Pat, who has no magic resistance right now.
Yeah.
There's actually no magic resistance for Rhux either.
Nope, just the base stats, honestly. The armor stacking, maybe they've got to reconsider a little bit. Pekin Woof getting a lot of ganks early on and a rushed death cap now at 24 minutes. He's scary.
We're going to look at it again. We see Rhux go after Pekin Woof, and then GetSnuggled turns around, assault and batteries it, and then they all get sucked into this vacuum where they need to help Rhux, and that's where the ball was placed. Just saw a really good Wind Slash across that afterwards for the double kill for Cris. So now he's 2-3-0, getting himself back in the game.
Absolutely, VVV finding a fight that you really wanted.
Rutro.
Cris, he's spotted.
He's got the broken wings over the turret.
That's a good choice.
Gives you a little extra distance, but there's Bilgewater Cutlass coming out for the slow.
Randuin
and the Randuin.
Well, the Q onto Cris as well. The damage isn't going to be enough. Another shield comes out.
He's got the broken wings, too.
He's trying, but there comes Vi. Ooh, the Lantern is enough. Pat not going to find the kill. Kicks him back in, though. Gets snuggled. Not in the best spot. Getting slowed down. Kill picked up. Kabigon somehow secures it for himself. And going to back off.
He's the captain. He has to get all the kills now. And GetSnuggled. Didn't have Assault and Battery or Flash available to him. He'll have them in a couple seconds when he's back up in Rhux. They're going straight for this. They know the smite is not there.
Wow, they are rushing it, and they all jumped over the wall. So the thing is, the ward right down here by the ramp is not going to spot them, but they're going to think about it anyway. Curse Academy really trying hard. 25.5 minutes in. The damage still coming through. Tails sees Duocek. It's a bad trade for Duocek. Honestly, he's not a good spot. Jumps away. There comes the kill from Cris, but still Pat picks up Baron. 1 for 1. Baron picked up for Curse Academy.
And the overall, it's a great trade for Curse Academy that allows them these temporary combat stats. They don't have to worry about anybody doing the Baron. And now in the bottom lane, they can go clear that out. They can go protect their turrets, go back by, be even more powerful for this next fight. Possibly stack on a little bit of magic resistance, because they've just been getting bullied around a little bit by Pekin Woof when he does get the good shockwaves. And now VVV just even more on the back foot, even more on the defensive. And I love that they went over the wall where there was no ward, because VVV thought they were dealing with people on the outside, but Baron was actually being done at the same time.
Yeah, very incredible stuff right there. Curse Academy making it happen. That's good, smart play. And there was no hesitation, too. They got the kill and just said, Baron. And they're like, sure, screw it. Shyvana ulti, let's go. And it did work out. So, 1 kill separates the teams, and by the gold, you wouldn't even know it. Almost 10,000 now. It's putting Curse Academy ahead. Blue buff for Duocek. And, like, I hate looking at his score and seeing him as 1-4-0, because I feel like he's playing better than that. But he's certainly, like, those deaths are all deserved. Or I should say the kills on him are all deserved. VVV are making some really good plays to take him out. The engages that can't get stuck on Pekin Woof is actually really effective. I mean, we talked about a little bit before, the only magic damage dealers on a team. Pekin Woof is the only magic damage on his team. He's got Sork Shoes, he's got a death cap. That's going to command respect from Curse Academy. It's going to require MR at some point.
At some point, and apparently it's not that point just yet. They're still trying to shut out Cris, shut out GetSnuggled, but of course the denting blows are going to shred some armor anyway, so that Cris will be in a good situation. They're so far ahead right now that if they just group up and start pushing things, or they can 4-1 split push and just have Rhux off on the side, which is what they've opted to do because Kabigon could just disengage a fight. We'll have to see, because they are very objective focused. That's been their MO all game long. They're going after Pekin Woof here.
Rhux looking for a little bit of something.
Yes, the Bilgewater.
Forward, good shockwave. Ziggs ulti comes out, good damage to Pekin Woof, but an overextension from Mashme. He did not want to be there. Flashes barriers away. Janna ulti helping keep the team alive. Fox gonna land on a just one. Normalize gonna go down right away. Cris in the side. Will he rejoin the fight? Stuns up Rhux. Running towards the back line. Exhaust is on Snuggle. Gonna get slowed down by the minefield as well. The dive in from Pat finds the kill. Double kill so far. What else will he get? Wow. Not much more, but wow, what a fight.
So there's a 2-for-0 on the overall there. Tails, he's looking for more. He's going through the... Oh!
Overextends and Duocek picks up the kill. Both AD carries overextending, but only one of them goes down to this one. Pekin Woof now in a 2 versus 5.
No shockwave available. If it was, might be a little different. Oh!
Duocek flashes for the satchel. Doesn't land it though, but it does mean some good damage on inhibitor turret. And now the push. Pekin Woof. Oh no!
Wow.
Not in a good spot. Kill picked up. Mashme will burn to death. No, he will. Couldn't quite lifesteal enough HP back, and Hib does go down. +4 kills on Curse Academy, and an inhibitor at 28.5 minutes.
12k gold advantage for Curse Academy now.
Yeah.
That was a huge push. The defense from VVV was very flawed. It was not good rotations there. They kept getting picked off, just one by one, and they tried to re-engage it, but just the members of Curse Academy so far ahead. If they were equal in gold, that would have gone VVV's way, 100%. And now Curse Academy, even more map pressure. They're going to get the dragon, so there's no objectives for VVV to pick up and get. And now the warding, oh, they're just sweeping around for Cris now.
Well, he's going to get spotted, though. There's a lot of minions around there. What will Cris go for?
The great chase.
Wards over Dragon Pit, sees that there's a pink ward, doesn't want to go for it. You know, he's safe. You know, he's fine.
Yep.
Done.
He's out of there.
End of the dramatic music. Is over. We're onto the denouement of Cris running away because he's safe right now. But the mid lane is under fire. Honestly, Curse Academy did not rotate to the mid lane nearly in time, and the lane did get pushed up. Looks like VVV will get some global gold back in their pockets. Difficulty being there still quite far behind, and Curse Academy has just bought a whole bunch of items.
And now the magic resist coming in. The Negatron cloak for Rhux and Pat. Still has another chain vest on top of that for Rhux. He's looking to mitigate all the damage that Tails is going to do, and Cris. So I guess that's good because Tails hasn't exactly been shut down at all. He's getting to that point where he's going to get eye edge in a bit. But if they allow Tristana to get to that 40-minute mark, complete a Last Whisper and IE, then they're going to be in a bad situation.
Wow, the flash slow and the knockup from Kabigon. Ulti in from Rhux as well. They're just trying to get Pekin Woof.
Oh,
and the shockwave plus lantern. VVV trying to keep himself alive. The pull in Ziggs box. Duocek finds it. Rhux going to stay alive with the Janna ulti there. Into the lines they go. Going to back off away from this one though. Turret being a pretty good set of defense there. Q lands. Do it, Pat. Do it. Yeah, he goes in, gets stunned up by Cris though. Jumps to the ward. Not in a good spot. Ulted in by Vi.
He's just so tanky.
He is pretty durable overall. Still running away. One shot to go. The wards almost kill off Pat, but the turret goes down for the inhibitor. The dash in from Mashme, not quite going to get it. But hit number 2 is going to go down. It's still a 5 versus 4. Cris got to be forced to run away.
They have the bottom and the top inhibitors both down. Cris, he's looking for something here. He wants to try and engage this fight.
Are they trying to kill Cris? No way. Lantern's fine. Waits around. Takes it. Looking stylish. He's going to be all right. Curse Academy going to back off once again. This time, all the waves are pushed very deeply into VVV space. It'll be much harder for them to answer back and get a turret off of the retreat from Curse Academy.
And now Curse Academy, nothing really on the map for them. There's Baron up in a minute. We're going to see Mashme go ahead and steal that blue away in just a second. But now all the waves are going to be pushing into their base. There's only that middle inhibitor left in Curse Academy's way, then the Nexus in their sights. And it's basically game 1 over again. Except Curse Academy had a foothold in this game from the very beginning because of Pat.
Yeah.
And they'd like to piece their enemy apart. Be like, we'll get one inhibitor, back off. Go to the opposite side so that super minions are pushing and might take somebody's attention away. Go get that inhibitor. And then it's like, all right, now we'll get Baron again, and then we'll go get that last inhibitor and go end the game. But the question is, can VVV answer? It's really difficult. Like, we've seen the shockwaves from Pekin Woof be pretty decent.
Yeah.
That last one and the one before that. But they have to be perfect when you're this far behind.
Yeah. And I really got to point out the big team fight contributors because Pat, of course, we talked about him a lot. 6-1-5 right here. Duocek, he started 1-4-0 from getting camped. Has gone 3-0-2 since then. 4-4-2 total score. Great pickups there. Remember that Pekin, Woof, and GetSnuggled started out 2-2-0, and they didn't transition much off it. So Baron goes over to Curse Academy. No one was around to stop them. Honestly, so much gold in their pockets. Make the money work for them. Use the lead to take a Baron.
I like how Kabigon just zones people off.
Yeah.
As Janna. It's like, we're doing Baron, and you can't even get close. I'm going to slow you. I'm going to go ahead and Monsoon you guys away if I have to. I'm going to Howling Gale over and over again. And they just can't get there. And now Curse Academy, Baroned up, looking at that mid lane. The siege has begun.
Well, there's only 2 inhibs left standing. The bottom lane, of course, already has a turret gone, so Curse Academy looks for this one. Kabigon's going to look for his positioning. Does not get hooked. That's good. Can easily shield up Mashme, and the damage comes through. Quick inhibitor kill. 2 inhibs dead. Only 1 turret remains defending an inhibitor. That's the mid lane right here that VVV is holding on to. Now will Curse Academy go for inhibitor 3? Will they go for the next? Let's find out.
Tails, he has his last Whisper completed. No Infinity Edge just yet. Trying to be a tank buster. Don't know if he can do it. VVV, they're really on their last foot in the last stand. Look at how much damage that takes.
Oh, I know. And Pat had to tank turret dagger for a little bit just to get some more attacks in.
And Duocek will walk up with his Sheen and his passive. Lob a little bomb on it, chuck it down. Mashme will do the same thing with the Trinity Force proc, and it'll be gone.
Hook won't land. Here comes Curse Academy. Honestly, GetSnuggled forced back to the base. It's a 5-on-4. Curse Academy gets the next turret. That's number 9 on the map. And go in for the inhibitor now as well. Pat jumps in, stunned up by Cris, but does he even care? Just back to his team. Ziggs bomb comes out. GetSnuggled about to die. Normalize already did. Pekin, Woof in the back lines ignited and will go down. 3 kills so far. Janna ulti keeps the team alive, and VVV forced to retreat well into their base. This could be the 2-0. Curse Academy take out Cris as well. Pad the stats up. This is going to be game 2-0. Curse Academy taking 3rd place in the matchup overall. 4th seed coming into the Challenger postseason to kill Tails for good measure. Down goes the Nexus.
Curse Academy, from start to finish, in control of that game. Thanks to Pat in the top lane. They shut down Cris on the Riven. It was a good strategy. I liked that since the pick and ban phase. Game 1, target Pekin Wolf's champion pool, and then counter everybody else with picks. It's like, oh, we're going to play Ryze into Renekton, and we're going to play Kayle into LeBlanc. And then game 2, ban out Pekin Wolf's champion pool, and just play whatever you guys want. Play standard, and just it worked fantastically for them both games, start to finish. So I like their strategy coming into it. And like you said, they solidified themselves as 4th, so they will play the 5th seed, and that will be decided by VVV versus Complexity Red.
Yes. So that'll be played this weekend, a best of 1, and we'll see who their first run opponent is in the playoffs. That'll be played next week. Now, the 3rd place series is in our match history. Let's take a look at the updated bracket. Curse Academy not only wins 3rd in the spring series, they do lock the 4th seed in the playoffs that kick off next week.
And that leaves the only unfinished business on the bracket. Tomorrow's finals between LMQ and Cloud9 Tempest.
And of course, tomorrow, before we get to those finals, the North American LCS continues its coverage of Week 10. Up first, Counter Logic Gaming tries to build on their win over TSM when they take on XDG.
And immediately following, after the NALCS signs off, we will crown the Challenger 2nd Spring Series champ. All this league action begins at 12 noon Pacific Daylight Time, 9 p.m. Central European Summer Time, which happens tonight.
Yeah, Europe's going to join us in Daylight Savings Time. Enjoy your very, very dark mornings. And with that, our time together has come to a close tonight. But before we go, I want to say thanks again to our friends at Coca-Cola. Now for myself, Zyrene, and the entire live broadcast crew, thanks for watching. Good night, and GG.